the 100K and you're offering a vibrational frequency different to the frequency of 100K, you're not a match for it.
Hello and welcome to the Feminine as Fuck podcast. I'm your host, Monica Yates, a period and women's life coach, where I help women to harness the power of their period and connect back to their true superpowers. In these episodes, we'll be talking about all things periods, vaginas, hormones, women's health, sex, confidence, food, femininity, and all the stuff that goes through our heads. You will walk away from each episode with new nuggets and truth bombs, as I don't seem to have a filter and I love talking about all the shit that people are too afraid to say, but everyone is thinking.
Hello, beautiful ladies. So, as you would have heard in one of my recent podcasts, I mentioned it in episode 26, I think, about the HPA axis dysfunction. I'm going to start popping some of the banging podcast interviews that I do on other people's podcasts. Those that are like, yeah, hells yeah, you can have the recording. I'm actually going to pop them now in my podcast so you guys can listen to them all in one space. So this is the podcast I did with Emma from the Sacred podcast. I did it when I was in New York just recently, talking at an event. And it was an epic podcast. It's all about the feminine in business and womb stuff and basically what I do. And I felt like this could be really helpful for some of you to understand a bit more about my work that I don't necessarily talk about that much on my podcast, because I guess like it's a bit weird for me to talk about myself and what I do. But when somebody else asks me questions, it can be a little bit more interesting, if that makes sense. So anyway, this podcast episode, I am being interviewed by Emma from the Sacred. You can go and follow her podcast. I will link it in the description. And we are talking about basically everything. So I hope you enjoy this podcast and I will talk to you soon.
So I have the absolute goddess, Monica Yates, on this week's podcast. She is the queen of periods, sex, femininity. She works with NLP, energetic healing. There's so much that you do. And I'm so excited to have you on and share your magic and your medicine.
Thanks, Emma. Thank you.
What have you been up to? You've got a lot going on at the moment. You're in New York at the moment.
Yes, so I'm just chilling in my hotel room. I've been in New York for, I don't know, maybe a week now. Here till Saturday night, and then I fly back home. So I've just been here speaking at an event, and I was speaking about being in your feminine flow in business. So one component of my business, because I have like 3 different components. The other girls in one of my masterminds with my coach, we were talking about this and she's like, I need to have clarity around exactly who my avatar is. And I was like, babe, I have 3 different avatars. You're all good. Like so many elements. Anyway, totally. And that's the feminine, right? We were like going everywhere.
Definitely.
And so I was here talking about the feminine in business, and well, my take with business stuff is that I've experienced this myself and obviously with my clients, is that if you don't clear your shit first, good luck having a good business. Like you need to clear your shit. So I was talking about womb stuff. I was talking about, all the subconscious work that I do, childhood wounding, all that jazz, feminine stuff, get with your flow and your period and really honoring your femininity. And then from there, you can have that magnetism and business becomes so fucking easy. Like I was saying to a friend tonight, I was like, when are you launching your next thingy? And she was saying something rather, and I was like, babe, you need to just like do it all the time, because I've already half sold out for my next program and I haven't even launched it yet. Do you know what I mean? Because like when you work from that place of like magnetic attraction, everything's so easy. Like I'm never in launch mode. I'm just like constantly in Monica mode, which is just like this everlasting flow state. And I never burn myself out. I'm traveling all the time, never burn out. Like, because I'm like riding the waves as opposed to trying to like steer the fucking ship. I'm just like riding with it. And I understand my ups and downs and I honor my ups and downs as a woman. So that's sort of what I was talking about. But that's kind of, what have I got going on? Like everything? I don't know. Like just doing my thing.
I just even love that you just said riding those waves. Like, cause that's what, as women, that's what they are. Instead of like the hustle that the divine masculine can go with and just be like, push and force, I guess we have to ride those waves and understand our ebbs and flows and know how to work with them. And I think that's perfectly what you are able to teach.
I was actually saying that at the event. I was like, I'm very obvious. People are quite aware that I say that the feminist movement has fucked us in a lot of aspects.
Amen.
So I'm all for the equal pay. Like, duh, we're both humans. We can do the same fucking shit. Like, obviously we should get paid the same. But it's gotten to a point now where it has fucked our relationships. It's created a lot of wounding for men towards women and women towards men. And anyway, and so, yeah, I'm pretty open with like the feminist stuff has really fucked us in that way. And I'm like, we're not equal towards men. Like, we are different, right? Yes, we're both humans, but like we have a different fucking language pretty much, because what we say is not what they hear. They have a very different brain to us. We are so different. And when it comes to business, it's like, don't try and do business as a man. You will only last so long and you will not succeed. However, and if you do business as a woman, you will thrive, much like when men do business as men, they thrive. Funny that. Like, you know what I mean? They thrive doing 4 a.m. nights and bashing each other up in the conference room with a beer, trying to rev each other up. That's great for them. As a woman, you need sleep. As a woman, you need to be in tune with your body. You need to slow down around your period, and you fucking need to honor that. Like, don't be a man, It doesn't make you a worse human being. It makes you a fucking woman, and that's beautiful. Like, it's just fucking beautiful being a woman when you understand this stuff.
Oh, it's so important. Everything that you just said is so spot on. Like, it's so important. The feminist movement has made women feel like we're equal to men and we can do what men do, and therefore we deserve blah, blah, blah. And we do deserve all the same rights as equal sexes, but we are
because we're just fucking humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
right. So
that's not even a man versus woman thing. That's just a human thing. Exactly. Humans can vote. Humans get paid the same. Humans can do the same thing every other human can do.
That's right.
It's just that when it comes to like energies, we're fucking different.
So different. And we need to honor men in that space as well, because we've disempowered them by saying that we are you too, as well as disempowering ourselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So at this event that I was speaking at, they had a men's panel, and I was like fucking orgasming, like listening to these men, right? Because it was just like everything they were saying, I was just like, yes, yes, yes. Like, chivalry is gone. And I'm like, yeah, because women have fucking squashed men. Yes. Like, everything we were talking about, it was like men have so much wounding that we have put on them because we're like Miss Independent. I can do everything myself. And it's like, yeah, you can do everything yourself. And it's way more fun if you let a man fix the fucking toilet.
Way more fun.
On the bed. Like, it's way more fun. Like, you don't want to get your hands dirty, babe. Like, just do something else. And it doesn't mean like, oh, you're being a domestic housewife. It's like, no, like, fuck. It's not about that. It's about like, you are surrendering. You are receiving. He is doing, like, oh my God. Anyway, so I actually had two of the men that were on the panel. I actually had them on my podcast. So I actually interviewed them this morning for my like cacao and convo, which is kind of like this, like, it's just like a conversation. It's not really and we were talking and it was just like, fuck, it was like 2 hour long podcast. So good. Anyway, and now we're going to do an event together in New York. Because I'm just like, I've said this for a while. I'm like, I want to do an event where women and men are together, because men need healing and women need healing from men. And doing the women's circles and stuff, that's fantastic. And how the fuck do you integrate that with men when you're then doing all the sisterhood work? Yes, there is sisterhood wounding that needs to be dealt with. And don't then expect to be like having this amazing experience with your boyfriend or your husband if you don't do the healing towards men as well. So I was actually saying to a business coaching client this afternoon, and so we weren't talking about womb stuff, but we do talk about it. We weren't in that particular call. It wasn't even a client call. I just phoned her randomly. And I was telling her about the event, and she like started like crying just by me saying, all I said was, imagine doing womb healing and like my womb healing work, and imagine a man having his hand on your womb. And she was like, crying, and she was like, I'm there. Like, the fact that you've already made me bawl from saying that, I can't even imagine the energy. I mean, I'm already feeling it. Like, imagine what it'd be like. Imagine that energy of healing with a man involved in that process. Like that is next level wound healing, because so many women have such horrendous womb wounds. That's a mouthful, wound in their womb. And for a man to be able to facilitate some of that healing, fuck me dead. Like, fuck me dead.
Totally, completely, 100%. And that's enabling the masculine to rise and to
my God,
power that they have. When I fucking want that. I don't just want there to be queens. There needs to be kings. Like
100%.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And I feel like I know that women feel as though they're doing all the work, and it's like, where is he doing the work? And there are obviously amazing men out there doing incredible work, but you know, it's also great for our brains to be access to men doing this work, to then go, reticular activating system starts then looking for these men so you can actually find them. Whereas I feel like a lot of women do the work with women, and so their brain isn't being exposed to men doing the work. So they're like, there's no good men out there, but there actually is. It's just their reticular activating system isn't finding them, and they're not attracting them.
No, and if you're creating that story constantly in your head about men too, that's the vibe that you're sending out to the whole world, the whole energy that you're sending out. So that's all you're going to draw back to you. You need to change.
Oh, yeah. As soon as I started, 100%. As soon as I started saying, oh, my God, it's so easy to meet men, I was like meeting men when I was like fucking jean shopping. Like it got so random, and like so I had men literally like coming to view my apartment in Sydney, like rocking up at my door. Like it was like the movies. It's fucking good. It's like that's that vibration work.
And that is the power of women. Like absolutely.
We're fucking magnetic.
We're so magnetic.
Like I always say, you're not, somebody actually asked in the talk, they were like, how do I find what I'm meant to do? And I was like, you don't find it. Like it's already there, right? Like you got to come back. And then it's funny listening to different coaches, because very strategy masculine coaches, they'll be like, just start taking action, just start doing the things. And I'm like, yeah, aligned action is important. And coming back to your soul is very important. Like don't try and find it externally. Like if you did that, you'd eventually come across it, but it wouldn't be externally. It would still be, you'd come across it from the inside. Yeah. And like that magnetism, it's like you're not finding that externally. It's actually already in you. It's just working with someone to get rid of all of the layers that are covering you from being able to see that, all the shifts, all the wounding, getting rid of that so you can actually have your magnetism shining.
Oh, God, love it so much, Monica. I love it so much. It's like, it's so true though. It's so, so true. You have to delve into your heart to find your purpose. And I think so many people are in this world now where we all want to be like entrepreneurs or business makers and all this stuff, and your purpose might necessarily not be that. Your purpose is like, really all of our purpose is to connect and to feel love and joy and fire in every moment, and it doesn't matter what you're doing externally because of that.
100%. Like I think there is, you know, the people that are in the personal development world or the coaches, it's like, oh my God, who are those people having their fucking cubicle jobs? And it's like, well, they actually might really like that. Exactly. So it doesn't, like, being your own boss, being able to travel and do work doesn't necessarily mean that you're living the high life. That's like me being a lawyer and being locked in a cubicle actually lights your fucking soul on fire. Amazing.
Or it facilitates the thing after that lights your soul on fire. It's the facilitation. Right? We all have to do some kind of work. There's always work to be done. And even though you can own your own business, it's not all like, oh, I just went out for coffee and then I came back home and hung out with a girlfriend, got my massage and my nails done, but I still got all my work done. Like it doesn't just work like that.
No. For anyone that thinks that, I can tell you right now, people are probably thinking she's in New York, she's having a wild time, she's out late every night. I'm like, no, it's literally not. I'm like, the most fun I'm having right now, it's all fun because New York is my soul home, so I'm feeling very grounded. My idea of fun is like spending an hour in Barnes & Noble, like looking at different books. Like what time is it now? It's 8:15 p.m. I have not gone out. I've been here for like a week now, haven't gone out at all. That's not what entrepreneur is. For some people, 100%. But yeah, no, I don't work really hard, like push. It's like I'm so ignited by my job that I am working at all hours of the day. I have 14-hour days. I work every day of the week, not from a push thing, but because it's just like,
it's what
my job is right. And my job is my life. So even when I'm reading a book, I'm still working because I'm making notes. I'm studying. I'm being like, okay, how can I apply this to the girls? Like I'm always, the women, I should say. So even when I'm like flying to go travel somewhere, I'm like, that's working. Like, people, the whole passive income thing and like fucking dream. Yes. And people work very, very hard to get to a stage where they have passive income. Like they've put in the hard years. Nobody ever has it really easy breezy. And if it looks like it's easy breezy from the outside, or their business is really easy breezy, like generally speaking, there's going to be some other hardship going on in their life, whether it's personal life, health. And that's not to say like, yeah, everyone lives such a hard life. Life is so hard. No, it's just like,
it's reality.
It's just like, it's, yeah. And we live in actually what it is we live in a world of polarity. With good comes bad. The more light you have, the more shadow you have, the more up leveling you do, the more fucking like, the more your ego is going to try and pull you back down. Like the more fears are going to come up. We live in polarity. So you're always going to have the good and the bad.
It's the yin and the yang, and the darkness is only whatever you make it out to be as well. So those heavy experiences and those dark experiences and the parts of your life that are a little bit yucky and you don't like to share are only as bad in Little Rabbit ears if you see that way. It's just part of being a human. It's part of the experience. There's joy in that. It's fun. You can laugh at yourself.
Like, oh my God, I love the hard times. Like I'm one of those people where I can't have a really, really grounded romantic relationship. I need twin flame, hot, cold, up, down shit to keep me interested.
Yeah.
Like, because I actually find every day is the same sort of life for me. I find it very draining. For example, I don't like holidays. I don't like the idea of doing nothing for 3 weeks or like having nothing to do. I need active holidays or I need working holidays. That's why I work all the time, because I'm like, I get so bored having like one day off. Oh, I like a day off sometimes. But if I had like a week of no client calls, nothing, I actually lose my mojo. Yeah. I get uninspired. I get really uninspired, and I find it very hard to pick myself up again.
And I guess that's got to do with the intention behind if you're having a holiday, like what your intention is for it. And if
totally true.
Yeah, you need to have like the intention of I'm relaxing, rejuvenating my body, and I'm opening myself up to receive messages from universe, from source, whatever it is, and to get back into my flow. That's totally fine. But if you're doing it to escape, that's the difference. Like,
actually, that's a really good point you mentioned, because it's like coming up to July, like holiday time for everybody, and I've booked to go to Europe for a month. And I'm like, it actually doesn't excite me to just lay there and do nothing all day. If I'm in a really inspiring place, I'd actually rather make content because I'm so inspired, right? But then when I think about it, like when I get to the end of the year, it's like, now that's a time where I want to relax. It's the end of the year. Everybody's taking downtime. It's like, yeah, I'd like to ski all day, read all night.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's just, again, it's allowing yourself to not be so strict with like, oh, well, it's June, July, I have to be on holidays.
Yeah.
Or, oh, it's Christmas time, can't work. Like if you want to do it, fucking do it.
Yeah. How do you find like with that too? Because I guess like the whole thing of femininity is really connecting to your body. Like it's really that absolute connection to your body, listening to your emotions, those gifts that have been brought to you, and understanding that. How do you find you do that and not look outwards constantly and be like, well, this person's doing that, so I should do this, and this person's doing that, so I should do this?
It probably all comes back down to, I know that people hire me for me. I always ask people, I'm me. And they're like, because I want you, like, because everything about you, I want. Yeah. And because I know that you're the coach that will not let me get away with fucking anything, that you will pull me up on my shit, that you will not be afraid to tell me how it is, that you will also soften when I need it. are absolute like girl boss goals, but you are also really soft and feminine and like sensual. And so, I mean, I always say this to people, they're like, but why would somebody, like my clients that are coaches, they're like, if they're having that moment of like, but why would somebody hire me? I'm like, people aren't necessarily like, mine is all, like all coaches of a certain level. Like if all coaches on my level, for example, we're all fucking coaching the same shit. Like all the girl or me and all the other women that I have in the mastermind that I'm a part of, like we're all coaches, and ultimately we're all digging for the subconscious crap, the wounding, the childhood stuff. Like ultimately that's what it is. And then we just have a different flair on it. Like one of the girls does a lot of abundance training. One of them does a lot of stuff with food. I do obviously stuff with like feminine sensuality periods, right? Like womb stuff. So a different flair. But ultimately the clients that are coming to us are magnetized by our personality.
I love it.
And with us, right? So I stick to, yes, there is, I mean, I follow, a majority of people I follow are coaches or in this realm. So I could easily go, oh my God, there are so many. But it's like, yeah, there are so many, and there are so many people that need the work. And you know, some people are going to want to go with Marley. Some people are going to want to like have the feminine stuff. So they're going to want to go with me. And they want the no bullshit approach. Other people want, like, it's just about people connect with different people. So I don't worry about a saturated market because it's saturated. And I'm always just true to myself. If it feels good, I do it. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. That's why I'm like, it doesn't feel good for me to have an Excel spreadsheet and to go, okay, I want to make this amount of money this month. I need this many sign. That does not feel good to me. That feels icky. It feels like I'm trying to achieve egotistical stuff. But when I am always focused on my why, the money flows, right? Because money flows through people. When I'm focused on my why, when I'm so engaged with the transformation that I get my clients to, the money flows without any push or trying at all. Like I will still go back. Like last night we had a call and Aisla, my coach, was like, so how much money did we all make this month and what's our goal for next month? And I'm like, you know, I still wonder, like, how much did I even make that? Like, how did I even make that this month? Like, because that's how unattached I am to logistics. Like honestly, when I was beginning of April and I hit my 6-figure goal, like hit 100K beginning of April, people were like, how'd you do it? And I'm like, I actually don't know. Like how I did it was magnetism and focusing on my why and feminine. If somebody asked me logistically, can you please map out? Actually, one of my clients was like, can you like map out like how you got there? I was like, fuck no. Because then you're focused on a how, like
and lack of not having that now.
Right. But like you've got to offer, if you want the 100K and you're offering a vibrational frequency different to the frequency of 100K, you're not a match for it.
Amen.
If you want abundance and you're operating at a frequency of like poor or scarcity, you literally cannot be a match for it. Like you can't be a match. So whatever you want to be or have, you got to be a match for it.
It's exactly what you were just kind of saying earlier too. It's that whole, what is your why? What is in that heart? What is that drive? And the more that you connect with that part of you, the easier everything is.
100%, because it's just, it flows through you. And people could tell, especially when you're working with women, that they can smell you out and they can smell inauthenticity. Is it right? Yeah, inauthenticity. They can smell it like wildfire and it's not sustainable. And I always say, I'm like, ladies, we are playing the long-term game, not the short-term. I don't care if you want to make 100K overnight. That's obviously possible. But I want you to be playing that long-term game of what is going to allow me to feel the best and to have the best results still 3 years down the track, not just this year. Like fast growth is amazing. Like rapid growth is, I mean, I've had quantum leaps. That doesn't mean that you can't be sustainable, but it's like do the quantum leaping in a sustainable way.
And it's
which is from a place of soul, because you wouldn't quantum leap with logistics. Quantum leaping and logistics don't go hand in hand. Quantum leaping goes with vibration. It goes with energy. It goes with thing. That's quantum leaping. So you actually can't quantum leap and do logistics at the same time. You have to be in that feeling in order to quantum leap.
I love it. And connecting with that feeling and understanding that feeling. And because we've been brought up in a world where it is very masculine and we are told that it's not important what you're feeling, you just got to hustle, even if it feels shit today, just do it. Just discipline, discipline, discipline. And you're like, no, if it's not coming from this connection in my heart, then what the fuck am I doing?
Right? Like that's why my followers are quite aware of this. When I launched my podcast, I actually said at the beginning, I was like, there is no, it comes out on this day. Some weeks I'll have 2, some weeks I'll have 1, some weeks I'll have 0, because I'm only showing up when it feels fucking good. Yeah. And so when it feels good, I will record like 5 episodes in one day if I want to, but I won't show up when it doesn't feel good. That does not mean though that if I have a group coaching call, I'm like, oh, I don't feel amazing today, I'm not going to show up. No, you also have to like be fucking, like be normal. Like people are paying you, right? So you have to show up. But like you have to show up. But when you are feeling like you don't want to show up, it's because there's something deeper down going on. So I very rarely feel like I don't want to show up. And when I get to that point, whoop, okay, we need to do the work. I need to go do a 1-hour meditation. I need to journal. I need to just go and do something for me. So I want to show up, right? Or even like disconnect for a day so that I get inspired again. So if you're feeling like you don't want to show up, it's because you're not in alignment. And that what's the word? That's where that work comes in before you actually need it. What's it called? I can't think of the word. Like preempt what you need before you actually need it.
And I think it's like having certain tools in your box that you know pull you into alignment, because that will be different for all of us. You can't just be like, well, this person does 10 minutes yoga and then they do this and then they do that, so I'll just do that. No, you need to go into what feels good for you. And like you said, it could 100%. Be switching off. It could be meditating for an hour. It could be having cacao. It could be connecting with girlfriends. It could be doing something totally out of the realm. And you need to have those tools to be like, oh, okay, I'm not feeling like I can give right now. What will fill my cup up so I can? Instead of 100%. Just ignoring it and going, I'm not doing the work then if I don't.
And you mentioned a really key thing. You are your own healer. You are your own teacher. You are your own coach. I am the guide to help you get rid of the layers, but ultimately you have all the answers.
That's right.
So when somebody says like, what's your morning routine? I'm like, I can tell you it, but don't copy it because you have your own morning routine, or you can try it out, but don't think, well, because Monica does it, I have to do it, or because this person made $1 million and this was their morning routine, if I have that morning routine, I'll make $1 million. No, that's not what the morning routine is about. The morning routine is about themselves up for a day that makes them feel good. Exactly. Yeah. For some people, that's journaling every day. For some, it's meditation. For me, you know what sets my day up really fucking well? Sitting in bed for half an hour with a cup of tea and reading my book.
Yes.
I actually don't journal necessarily every morning. I don't meditate every morning. I will do it more often not, because I know that it makes me feel very good. But I find the more I'm in alignment, the less I need those things. Right. And I do them when I feel really pulled. And I know that people are like, well, you should do it all the time. You shouldn't wait till you need it. I totally get that. But I'm also one of those women where I am a fucking human, and I'm not going to give the bullshit. Like, I don't want to meditate every morning. Like, I don't meditate every morning. I don't want to meditate every morning. And I'll be totally honest with you. I check my phone first thing when I wake up in the morning, and often I will wait until I need to meditate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a perfect human, and more often than not, I wait till I burn out to relax. Or actually, I don't sweat anymore, because now I've been able to, say with meditation or whatever, I've been able to feel the little tinge of like, you're getting a bit tired, Monica, you need extra sleep.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. And so I don't ever burn out, because I'm so in tune with my body and out of my head, right? That comes with the feminine.
Yes.
However, I used to wait till I burned out. Now I can feel I can feel the twinge, and my body's like, Monica, extra sleep. And I listen to it and I honor it. And I don't keep pushing. I actually now know that if I keep pushing, I will end up being of less use to everybody, including my bank account. But if I have 3 hours of extra sleep tonight, or if I have a nap, then I'll actually make more money and I will be able to transform more lives.
Love that. It's honoring yourself. And it's that whole thing too. I find, for me personally, I'm exactly the same way as you. I find that as long as I'm in alignment, I'm in constant flow and connection to source and to universe and to everything else, that I don't necessarily need to meditate every day or to journal every day to get to channel, to get those
100%.
through. So as long as I can keep myself in that form of energy, then that's okay. And the moments when I notice myself lacking, that's when I know, oh, I need to meditate today. I actually need to do my work today to get myself back. Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever I start to get in my head, I'm like, okay, we need to get back into the body.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, for example, like this is where I'm going to be like, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm doing the work. So like before the day of my talk in New York, I did all the stuff beforehand. I journaled that morning. I danced that morning. I did my feminine practices and I meditated and I did Pilates and I did everything because I was like, I am setting myself up for I'm not available for any head heavy stuff. I am only available for me being in my body and for me being in my womb and my heart and my soul. That's all I'm available for. I'm only available to be magnetic. And then there's times where it's like your average Tuesday and I'm like, I've done like, nothing in the morning. And that's also okay because like you were saying, like my job is my alignment. Yes. Honestly, it lights me up to like get on my fucking emails and reply to my clients. Like
exactly. First thing in the morning.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it fucking lights. I will reply to my clients and they'll be like, are you okay, Monica? You sound dead. I'm like, oh, I'm still in bed. I literally woke up 2 minutes ago. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I also feel like that of love, then my clients feel that energy and it inspires them to give that level of love to their clients or to their husband or whatever, or to give that level of love to themselves. Or just to give that level of love to the work they're currently doing on themselves. They go, fuck, if Monica's sending me a message at 5:30 in the morning and she's still like, freaking in the bath or something ridiculous, the least I can do is put in the work.
Exactly.
I actually had a bath this morning in the morning, which I've never done before in my life. But I was like, I really need an Epsom salt bath. So I actually did one this morning and I was like, this feels so weird, but we're going to roll with it.
Yeah. Oh, it's ultimate luxury.
Yeah.
I think too, like that's a whole thing as well. And what's been coming up for me during this conversation too is I love how bold you are. Like I love that you really stepped into that feminine sensuality and boldness and not being afraid to be seen. And I think so much of the story that us as women hold is don't look a certain way, don't dress a certain way, don't you dare wear red lipstick just to the school pickup or to like to a cafe or whatever. And it's just such bullshit. And
oh my God.
Love that you're stepping into that, like that you're just bold. It's fucking amazing.
So on that topic, this is where, again, women crush men.
Yes.
So the classic one that I always use with the girls in my mastermind is we'll always get on the topic of this conversation, always is major healing, a major wounding for a lot of women about being seen. They don't want to walk around with like their blouse with one button too low or whatever it is. And I actually was saying this on my podcast some time ago. Like this morning, I'm like walking down the streets of New York City and I had my blouse and it was like one button too low so you could see my black lace bra. And you get to a point where like it doesn't actually, like, I get looks and I'm like, fuck yeah. Like it doesn't affect me. It doesn't trigger me at all. I take that. I'm like, you very much. I'm like polarity. Like they are men. They are wired to look at women that are giving off vibes of sensuality and femininity. Yes. So I do not choose to see it as he is a dirty man, but I choose to see it as I am giving off sensual, positive, feminine vibes.
I mean, my power.
The classic, and they don't come up to me or anything. They just look, right? Because I also have this strength about me of like, do not fuck with that bitch, right?
Yeah.
So the classic one I use for Australia is like the amount of women that I hear, they will cross the road to avoid a construction site, right? And to me, I'm like, you are altering your life to suit your triggers and your wounds. That's not okay. That's not okay, right? Anyway, and I'm like, because they hate construction men. Look, and I don't know why I call it construction men. They're just men looking at them, and because they take it as they're dirty men.
Yes, and or they're dirty themselves. Like the woman is dirty. Like
right.
Yeah.
And that's a societal wounding. That's societal conditioning. Actually, what is happening majority of the time, and of course, there's a time where a guy's going to look at you and go, damn, I want to fuck that thing. Yeah. And like, that's fine, right? But you have the power to choose it, to choose how you want to see it and you want to receive it, right?
Yeah.
So if he's looking at you, you can either go, what a filthy man, or you can go, I'm looking attractive, I'm getting off feminine, and take the fucking compliment as a fucking compliment to raise your vibe, to boost your confidence. Hells to the yeah. Like, I'm sorry, that makes me feel confident when a guy looks at me. I'm like, damn, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, and even if a guy does make you feel a little uncomfortable or whistle at you or say something or wink at you, of course it can make you feel uncomfortable sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable. But ultimately, I choose not to react.
Yes.
I have my little safety bubble around me that you should have around anybody, woman, man, mum, dad. You can't let people drain your energy. That's your responsibility. And, you know, ultimately, men are wired to look at women that are fertile and that are attractive because we are both baby-making machines.
Yeah. And it's not just men. Women are too. I think.
Right. Oh, no, seriously. But it's like, I actually use this example, which just pisses, like, it just makes me, like, die of laughter. So if you put a woman and a man next to each other, butt naked, who looks more attractive? A woman. 100%. Right? She's soft. She's got this warmth. She's got curves. A man looks like a triangle.
Yes. Very, very hairy, like, yeah.
Right. I love men so much. They look like a triangle, right?
Yeah.
So women are attracted to women. Men are attracted to women. We are all attracted to women. There is just this, the whole thing about there's something about her. There is something about her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I ask you this question. Wouldn't you be more offended if you walked past a construction site and not one guy looked at you? Right? Then you would not be giving off fertile, feminine, sensual vibes. You want to be giving off those vibes because that is being a beautiful, healthy, radiant woman that's embodied.
It's your birthright.
Right?
Yes.
So I say, take the fucking compliment and don't read it as something that it's obviously not.
Don't take it personally. Don't take it as something that's like, oh my gosh, he's dirty or he's looking at me because of this or this is so inappropriate. Don't make it personal. Just take it for what it is in that moment and that's it.
Right? It's like when people read into words, like don't read into the words, take them as a word. It's like when a man texts you a message of like, can't see you tonight. Don't take it mean. Don't make it mean. He hates you. Yeah. You're a shit. You're unlovable. Just take it as literally, I can't see you tonight. That's exactly what he means.
Yes.
Like, don't read into shit. Don't read into shit that doesn't warrant the need to be read into. And even like women will say to me, like, I hate it when he's looking at other women. I'm like, no, celebrate it.
Yes.
He is a man that is on the hunt. He's still chosen you. He is wired to look at fertile women, right? That's how their brain is wired. Do not take it as a wrong thing. Take it as literally, he is a man.
Yes.
And this is the work for yourself comes in because that's an insecurity.
It's your trigger. Right? It's your work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's an insecurity. You are not trusting yourself that you're good enough for him. And that's why you got to do the inner work. That's why I always say, like, you can't expect to have a great relationship if you don't have a great relationship with yourself. Your man should be the cherry of your already sugar-free, dairy-free, gluten-free cupcake. You've already got the icing, you've got the sprinkles, you got everything else you need, the fucking fairy dust, and he's a cherry on top. Like, your life is amazing without him, but it's more fun with him.
Definitely.
Because when it's from that space, you can not talk for 3 days and you don't have insecurities. He can be out with other women and you don't care because you know that you're a fucking damn catch. And even if he fucked it up, well, that's on him. You're amazing.
Amen. Yes.
And it's just,
it's knowing your
freeing.
own worth, isn't it? It's knowing your own worth.
Yeah. It's just, it's fucking freedom is what it is because you're not in your head thinking. You're like, I am damn hot. I'm sexy. I'm successful. If I was a man, I'd be banging this thing left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with me. That's what I always think. It's like, well, if I was a man and I saw me, I'd be like, damn. So that's, you know what I mean? So like, I don't get insecure about it. And I don't overthink it because I'm like, if he doesn't want me, fine. I don't want him then, right? Because you don't want to be with a guy that doesn't want you.
Not at all.
So it's like, honor that for both of you. Don't try and be in something when it's not reciprocal, and know and trust that there's something better for you and that you're available to something better.
And I think
it's all about.
Can take that into your relationships with girlfriends as well, with other women. If they don't want to hang out with you, if they're not replying to your text messages, if they judge you or come from a place of, oh my God, you're too much, that's totally okay. That's their shit, not your shit.
Correct.
You just
Correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, that's a good one, the I'm too much thing. I always had that. I'm a type 8 Enneagram. I'm Sag. I mean, you'd get it, right? Like you're a lot of Scorpio.
Yeah.
One of my other clients, she's the too much girl, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're actually not the too much girl. You're the girl that's really like confident within herself and she's in alignment.
Yeah.
And that's a trigger for other women because they want to be the too much girl and they're the not enough girl. Oh, that was good, Monica. That just came through. Yeah, they're the not enough girl, right? And so seeing somebody it's jealousy. They see what they want and they're like, how can I have that? It seems like the impossible. Like, she's so lucky. Like, fuck the luck. You create your own life. Yeah. So it becomes a trigger for them. And it's like, they have the opportunity to heal. And if they don't want to heal, it's not your responsibility. Don't stay in a situation that sucks you down.
Yes. Yes.
It's not supportive. It's not supportive to the life you want to live. Like, you're listening to this podcast because you want to live a massive life. So you got to do the things that require you to live a massive life. That's saying goodbye to a toxic relationship.
It is.
That is doing the work if you want to be the 1%, you've got to do the 1% of work. If you got to do the things that the 1% of people do, i.e. the work. If you want the extraordinary life, you have to do the extraordinary things.
You deserve it too. Like, you deserve that. You deserve to be empowered. I even visualize it as being like, when people say I'm too much or too intense, is that I'm just like a light, and my light is just dipping into your bits of your shadow that you might not like about yourself. And I can't help that, man.
Love that. Love that.
I can't help that. That's their stuff. Yeah. And that's totally fine. Like, it is totally fine. And don't stay in it if it's sucking you down. That's right. Like, you have no obligation to other people. You do not owe anybody anything. You don't even owe your mum anything. You don't owe anybody anything. And the whole deserving word is very interesting because I'm feeling now like it's become this thing where it's like this connotation of like, when we say you deserve it, it's like you don't already have it. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, actually, you've already got it. Like, getting rid of the crap that's hiding it. The remembering. Yeah. Right. Actually, that's a really good point. So when I was doing my talk a couple of days ago, some of the women were coming up to me and they were like, I just have to say, everything you said, it was like some part of my body already remembered it and knew it. And I was like, yeah, because you already know all this shit. Everything in the personal development world, whether it's womb healing, whether it's periods, femininity, whether it's NLP, Tony Robbins, like, you already know that. It's coming back to it. That's why I'm like, we're not finding anything external. Like, you're not finding your magnetism. You're coming back to your magnetism. You're not finding it. You're not finding dream job or your purpose. You've already got it. It's the same thing with even aligning, like we were talking about before, with different coaches and things like that too. It's just reflections of the thing that you see in yourself that you see in them, and that's why you want that and you want to work with that person because you want to draw that out of yourself and let go of all the bullshit that you've created to hide that, like to set that back. And so 100%. Different coaches and different people for different reasons. Yeah, 100%. There's more than enough for all of us. There's no competition. And especially in the field of like divine feminine and femininity in general, is we've been taught that we need to compete with each other, that we need to push the other one down to get up. That's fucked. Yeah, it's so fucked. Yeah. And even with that, I will say that a lot of people think that like the feminine is then like really, really soft all the time or really airy fairy. That's not the feminine. No. That's very wounded. There is very soft parts of us and we can have airy parts of us.
But ultimately what I'm always talking about is like igniting that fiery feminine.
Yes.
And somebody asked the question of like, how do you balance the masculine and the feminine? I'm like, no, we're not balancing. You are the feminine and then ignite the fire. Because I feel like women then get into the trap of like, oh, I'm the masculine. Right now I'm doing a sales call, so I should be in the masculine. It's like, no, you are a woman. 90% of women have a feminine core, 10% have a masculine core. So right now we're talking about the 90% that have a feminine core. Those 90%, you are not trying to play a balancing act between the masculine and feminine. You are feminine at your core. You are in the fire to allow you to be the fiery feminine.
Yes.
What that also allows you to do is for your brain and just your body to be like, oh, I'm always feminine, like not this fucking mind game. And then from there, it's like, okay, when I'm doing my job, when I'm doing my work, there are times when I will ignite my fireplace. And then there are times when I'm in my relationship to soften and be that soft lover archetype.
Yeah.
And then when I'm doing the work, I'll be my witch or my queen or whatever. And allowing yourself to, not fall into the trap of like, today I'm masculine, today I'm feminine, like blah, 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 because...
And differentiating between that, like, because there is no... Yeah, exactly.
It's just like... that's what I was going to say. When you do the feminine work, you don't need to change your personality. So when I started doing the feminine work, someone said to me, I saw him at a Christmas party after we did some work together. And he was like, how's everything going? I'm like, oh my God, I'm so much more feminine. I feel fucking amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, are you sure you're still like doing a lot on your Instagram? You're still very like, fiery and intense. And I was like, that's just my personality. Like that actually does not need to be changed. I'm a Sag. I have so much fire in me. It's like, that's why I hate the heat. I need cold weather because I'm always hot. And anyway, and it was actually just a really beautiful moment for me to be like, I am not changing my personality. Falling more into the feminine is not changing your personality at all.
Yes.
At all. You are not the kind of person. It's much like people think when they're doing the work that they're changing their personality. No, you're not changing your personality. You're getting rid of fucking ego.
Yes.
You're actually allowing your personality to become stronger and more defined.
And I think
you're finding yourself.
It's good. It's the same thing, obviously, with the women who are softer naturally and who are gentler and are more that mother nurturing figure. They also feel like I don't want them to feel like they have to be the fire starter either. Like their fire is that place, and that's okay as well. It's that knowing. I think that's what the fire for me is that knowing deep down in my bones who I am, and no one can fucking take that away from me. No one. And it's connecting with that constantly through my work, no matter what I do, whether it be exercising, what I choose to eat, what I'm going to do today, anything like that. It's connecting.
It's that intuitiveness. Like, do what you fucking want.
That's what the divine.
You don't need to follow anybody else's stuff. That's why I say, like, even as a coach, I'm like, I'm not there fucking giving you verbal diarrhea, telling you what you have to do. I'm giving you what needs to be heard. I'm helping you heal so you can find your own answers.
Yes.
Like at the end of all of like my stuff, I'll always like make the girls create like their own little toolbox with everything that we've done of like, what is in your toolbox? And then it's like the next girl, what is in your toolbox? And it's so funny when we do work, I'll do healing work on the calls and everyone will have a different answer. Every single person, different answer of what came up for them or different answer. I'll ask them like intuitive answers of what they need to do in this moment. Everyone has a different answer. It's like, see, I can't say to you, oh, go journal if your womb is like, actually, can you please have a bath?
Yeah.
And like, you have to honor that and you got to trust that. Like, don't listen to like what, oh, the grand person said this or this person that wrote a book said this, so I must do that. Try it. If it feels good, great. If it doesn't, also great.
Beautiful, beautiful. How do you feel in your coaching and what you would help women to help gain that access to the intuition? Because I think so many women feel like they've lost that. And I think that's number one, that's a mistake is they've never lost it.
Yeah.
They're just not listening to it. So what are some tools that they could take forward to help listen to their intuition?
Somebody asked me this question the other night on Instagram. She was like, what are some, how can I start tapping more into my feminine? And I was like, the no bullshit answer is that You can do the dancing, do the journaling, do that, but ultimately that's not giving you the long-term results. If you want the long-term results, you've got to do the inner work. You've got to clear the crap. You've got to clear the shit. You've got to release your blocks. From there, it all clicks because it's natural. You are naturally, you're a woman, you have a womb, you have so much intuition. So as soon as you clear the blocks, you will have so much intuition running through you. You will have so much femininity running through you, so much warmth, because nothing's clouding your judgment. So the no bullshit answer is like fucking do the work.
Yes.
If you want to not do the work and do other than listen to your intuition, firstly, you need to start asking it the things. Then you need to trust it. But if you haven't done the work, you will have such a hard time getting rid of your ego and trusting it, because it will come up and your ego will give you like literally the opposite answer.
Yeah.
And then you're like, which one do I go with? And because it's so scary, your ego will override, and your ego will then override it. So then you're going to go with your ego's choice, and then it didn't work out well, or whatever happened. And then every time you listen to your ego and you don't listen to your soul, your womb, you shut her down more from speaking to you. And then it's more and more work. The more you listen to her, the more she's going to talk to you. Like the more you listen to her and then act on it, the more she's going to talk to you.
Yeah. Even if it's the weirdest thing. Like sometimes it'll be for me, you need to go over and talk to this random person, just say, hey. And you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do that. Don't do that. You're going to look like a weirdo. But
seriously though.
It's doing that. It's doing those things that are out of your character and that are out where your ego tries to hold you back. And you think, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, what are they going to think of me? Just do it anyway. Yeah.
Fuck, life's too short. Like, you don't want to regret. You do not want to be lying on your deathbed being like, I wish I was that person, or I wish I was more vulnerable, or I wish I was more courageous or brave, or I wish I spent the money hiring this person, or I wish I did the business that I wanted to do. Like, you do not want to lie on your deathbed having regrets.
No.
So if there is some inkling, like, fly to New York a week after surgery, fucking do it. That was literally me. Like, if there is that inkling and logistically it makes no sense, it is there for a bigger purpose, and maybe the purpose won't be there right in your face, but a month or 2 months down the track, it was like, fuck, if I didn't make that one connection in New York, I wouldn't have this opportunity, or this wouldn't have happened, or whatever. Like, you just don't know. So you've got to follow what feels good in that moment, and maybe it doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out, but you have to trust that it's always working out in the perfect way.
It's following the breadcrumbs, isn't it? And I think so many times too, we have these ideas and these dreams that we're thinking, okay, this is going to lead me to this place. And you miss out on all of the juicy goodness that's along the way that you haven't picked up. And so you could say, oh, that didn't work out. But what did I learn? Where did I grow? What connections did I make? Who am I now? And so how could you say that it didn't work out? You know, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all in divine timing and divine purpose. And it's following those tiny little nuggets along the way to get you there.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. What have we got coming up? Like, if people want to connect with you, Monica, what's the best way? Obviously.
When will this pod release, do you reckon?
It'll probably be in the next couple of days.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what's coming up? So I've got my 4th round of my mastermind starting in about August. So intake will start around July. So just make sure that you're following me on Instagram, so you know when it comes up, and probably go on my mailing list, because, you know, Instagram algorithms these days, they fuck you up.
Yep.
On the mailing list, so you know that I don't spam. I just release stuff when you need to hear about it. That'd be the best thing to do. I've got my academy that I am, you know, like I was saying before, like I haven't even launched it, but somehow it's just like, not somehow, I know how. It's like already nearly full. So the academy is for coaches that want successful businesses, that want to be, you know, 5-figure months and more, that want to be having 6-figure years. Basically, they want to be having a business like I've had. That will be all that. And the basis for that is like clear your shit so you can have that thriving business. So we do a lot of womb clearing, sensuality, femininity work, subconscious stuff, wounding, all that. We do a lot of that, and we then in the business, and then we do a lot of business stuff as well in there, all from the feminine aspect. So it's not heavy strategy stuff, because obviously you need to have like a little bit of strategy, otherwise you'd be fucking doing nothing. But it's like providing that masculine shell for your business so you can float in the feminine throughout that.
Love that.
And then also I've got a very exciting new program culture, I haven't really talked about it all yet because I haven't probably launched it yet, called Queen Alchemy. And which I love the name of. I just came up with it. I don't even know how I came up with it, but I'm just like, right, it's so juicy. Anyway, so good. And when you look up the definition of alchemy, it's like beautiful. Anyway, so that is all about sensuality. It's about pleasure, about being turned on every day of your life, being turned on when you're like fucking in your trackie, fucking in your trackies, you can fucking do trackies. Yeah. When you're like, you know, in your trackies, when you are having a bloating day, a day where you're bloated, or a day where you're like, you know, in a sexy dress. So it's literally about understanding that you are responsible for your own pleasure. Yes, your partner can trigger an orgasm, but ultimately you are responsible for your own pleasure. And pleasure is not just about the bedroom. It is about, I want you to be turned on when you are brushing your teeth, because that feeling of being turned on, that is that creative sexual energy that helps you reach that bliss point where you can manifest the money and the abundance and the man and all that jazz. So for the Queen Alchemy course, it's a lot of pleasure stuff and a lot of wealth frequency work. So I've lost the exact term that I was using. Abundance training, upgrade stuff. So a lot of money mindset stuff, a lot of abundance stuff, just because love and money are on the same vibrational frequency. Yes. So if you want to work on love and pleasure and all that, you've got to work on money, because you have to work on both to have both. So that's Queen Alchemy. That is launching May this month. So look out for that, because I only have 8 spaces left. 2 have already been taken. So make sure you look out for that. And I mean, obviously I have my one-on-one, but I'm now like full obsessed with group stuff, because I'm just seeing more and more, like, as a woman, brain needs other women. We feel we need sisterhood healing anyway, where there is so much sisterhood wounding, and our brains thrive with other women. It's that feeling of safety, connection, community, all that jazz. So the group stuff is epically powerful. I have a very high touch point, so you get so much one-on-one time and the group. But that's what's coming up for me.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I'm so grateful for you taking the time out today to talk.
Thanks, Emma, for having me. It's been beautiful.
Oh, fuck. If anyone wants to connect, all the connections will be like in all the details will be in the show notes and everything. But your courage and your boldness and what you're creating and all that energy in your womb work, I'm just so excited to share it and to bring it out more and more and more. Mwah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Emma.
Well, thank you so much, Emma, for interviewing me. Make sure you guys check out our podcast if you would like to, and please make sure that if you haven't already, actually, you don't need to make sure. I would just really, really be grateful if you could write a little review for me, leave that 5 stars. All you gotta do is like tap it. It's like so effing simple. If you could post even one of my, it doesn't need to be this one, but any of my podcasts in your Instagram story. It's helping other women, and like so many of you have, and so many of you send me beautiful messages talking about how I've already changed your life so much just through my podcast, and I'm like, wow, that is incredible, and I'm so grateful for the work that I do, and I fucking love my job. I love my clients. Like, oh my god, I love my work so much. I could work every day of my life if I could, and I kind of pretty much do, actually, to be honest. Anyway, so I'd be really grateful if you guys can share the podcast so that more women can learn more about their feminine, get in touch with it, understand all the stuff that I do. Of course, if you are interested in working with me, maybe this is a little niggle, the sign that you need. Make sure you also do that as well. I've got my next Academy round starting really soon. Queen Alchemy is starting really soon. My next mastermind's going to start in August. It is all happening, ladies, and it's all happening with so much love and passion behind it. So if you want to be part of this incredible collective up level, then I would love for you to reach out to me. Email me, you can DM me on Instagram, you can message me on Facebook. Actually, messaging on Facebook